What's up, YouTube? Timmy's here. Now, not everything that Netflix put out in 2024 was gold. So I'm of course gonna decide to do a video I haven't done before, but my top 10 worst Netflix movies of 2024. Because again, Netflix had put some really good content out this year, like film content wise. Obviously, Hitman, Beverly Hills Cop, XF, Piano Lesson. Like they've done some good films. But once in a while, they also put out some garbage. And that's what we have here. Some of the worst Netflix movies I've seen this whole year. So, all right, coming in at number 10 is Irish Wish. Now, I feel ashamed to really add this because I really adore Lindsay Lohan. And her Netflix Christmas movies has been decent, like, Falling for Christmas, and, the other one was pretty good too. I mean, she had some good Christmas stuff. But this was her non-Christmas one, and it was abysmal. Of course, here you got Lindsay Lohan, whose dream guy is a day away from marrying her best friend, and when a wish for a true love, Mayor Ancient Stone in Ireland magically alters her fate here, and the cast of characters I could not really care for at all. Lindsay definitely does not have a great her acting in this wasn't all that great. I mean, it's a shame too because I love Lindsay Lohan. I love seeing her succeed, but yeah, this one just wasn't it. I'm hoping Freakier Friday will be a really good hit for her, but we'll see there. Anyway, number 9. Speaking of Freaky Friday, by the way, number 9 is The Merry Gentleman, which of course has Lindsay's Freaky Friday co-star Chad Michael Murray. Now of course now Netflix put out 4 Christmas movies this year. They also did that this Christmas, which wasn't great. But I'm talking about live action wise. They of course did the Christine Milian one, Hot Frosty, the Lindsay Lohan one. But if I had to say, and those actually wasn't so bad. But if I had to say what the worst Christmas film they put out this year was, it is The Merry Gentleman. Of course, Chad Michael Murray really wasn't all that great in this. Of course, the other cast of characters wasn't all that great. Eel, Brett Robinson, who I've always adored, Chad Michael Murray. It's just an abysmal one. Really wasn't all that funny. A little predictable too. I mean, it's a really terrible one. All right. Number 8. Number 8, I'm actually gonna go with a film that I recently just saw, and that is Mary. This is of course about Mary and Joseph and the birth of Jesus and stuff like that. I'm sorry, this movie was one of the most boring Netflix movies I've seen this whole year. It's just, it's not so good. It's completely terrible. Anthony Hopkins gives a terrible performance in this thing. I'm like, why is Anthony Hopkins in this? Like, what did he lost a bet or something? The lead actress was fine, but yeah, not anything to really go by with this one. I mean, the movie is so bad. I feel like even Angel Studios didn't want it. Like this literally felt like something that Angel Studios will put out. The company that just did Sound of Freedom and other religious stuff. But yeah, I think the movie is so bad, even Angel Studios don't want it, or even Perflex, who did God's Not Dead. But anyway, all right. Coming in at number 7. All right, almost lost it. All right, number 7 is Players. Of course, this is a rom com with Gina Rodriguez. You also had like Damon Wayans Jr., who, by the way, if you guys have not watched Papa's House on CBS, that of course stars Damon Wayans Jr. and Damon Wayans Sr. Go watch Papa's House. It's a hilarious sitcom. But of course, this movie here, where where this New York sports writer Mac devises a successful hookup with friend Adam and their crew here, and of course you have Lucifer himself, Tom Ellis. It's just not even all that funny. The characters I couldn't care much for. It really wasn't all that cute at all. It's just a really terrible one. All right, number 6, I'm going with Mother of the Bride. Mother of the Bride, of course, starring Brooke Shields, Miranda Cosgrove, is awful. Of course, Chad Michael Murray is, by the way, on this list twice. So, not the best year for Chad Michael Murray. I mean, CMM, not a good year for CMM. Hopefully, he's better for Freaker Friday, but we'll see. And this is really felt like, let's say, a rip off of Father of the Bride. Like the Father of the Bride reboot that came on Max was a better reboot than this one. It's just a really terrible one. Performances by Miranda Cosgrove, who I've been a fan of since Drake and Josh fame. Obviously iCarly fame. She was always great in School of Rock. I mean, Miranda Cosgrove has always been great. It's a shame that she's sticking with these like not so good Netflix stuff. Hey, need the money, I guess, but yeah, maybe that new one she has, the Wrong Paris or whatever it's called, maybe that would be better, but I'm not holding out hopes with this one. And it's a shame too, because this is from the same director who gave us like Mean Girls, the first Freaky Friday, Mark Waters. He also did Bad Santa 2. What is going on with his career? I mean, he's done terrible stuff like this. He did that She's All That reboot on Netflix. I mean, he needs a comeback. But anyway, all right. My number 5 pick is Mia Copa. Of course, starring Kelly Rowlands, directed by Tyler Perry. Of course, you got Kelly Rowlands, who plays this criminal defense attorney, unhappy with her marriage, finds herself seduced by a mysterious client played by Trevante Rose from what you call it, Moonlight fame, and of course he played Mike Tyson as well. Mea Culpa is an horrendous one. Really has like a little bit of a rip off of, let's say, films like 50 Shades and all. It's and of course it has a rip off of like those erotic films you'll see from like the 1980s and all. Obviously, this was directed by Tyler Perry, who I really do quite like at times, but this definitely wasn't it. It's just completely terrible. It was boring, pointless. Nothing about it really was fascinating. It's an horrendous mess that, yeah, I think they even pretty much try. I think Tyler Perry wants to do a sequel to this, but I don't know. I don't think we're ever gonna get one. All right, number 4 is Trigger Warning. Starring Jessica Alba as a special force commander who uncovers a dangerous conspiracy when she returns to her hometown, looking for answers to her father's passing. And Jessica Alba, like I've been a fan of Jessica Alba for years, whether it's Sin City, the first Fantastic Four, that is, what Into the Blue. I mean, who never had a crush on Jessica Alba back in the days? So I actually always interested in seeing her back on screen. This wasn't it at all. It was a horrible mess. The action wasn't great. It was completely boring. It felt like a worse version of Extraction with Hemsworth. So I wish Jessica Alba does better films here. But anyway. All right, number 3 is Uglies. And well, the movie was ugly big time. Starring Joey King. And it has a really weird premise where, like, a teen is waiting for cosmetic surgery and embarks on a journey to find her missing friend here. And yeah, it's safe to say this was, well, an ugly one. I mean, Joey King, by the way, I've adored Joey King. Whether it's her playing Gypsy Rose Blanchard on The Act, or whether it's that little movie she just did with Zac Efron was pretty good. A Family Affair, that was actually a decent little film. But yeah, this was definitely not it. It was just not so great. The effects was terrible. It really felt like a student film. Shame too, because this is from director McG, who gave us like the Babysitter movies, Charlie's Angels, but this was just a terrible one. All right, number 2 is Atlas, of course, starring Jennifer Lopez, her other Netflix movie this year that was terrible. Of course, you got Jennifer Lopez, where you know she plays like this brilliant data analyst with distrust of AI, finds her to be the only hope when a mission capture robot goes airy. And this is so boring. Probably even worse than the mother she did last year. But this is a terrible one. The effects is terrible. It really felt like a student film. Brad Anderson didn't do great with this. I mean, it's a really horrendous mess. And J-Lo really, she needs to pick better projects. I mean, between this and the mother, hopefully Unstoppable is a better one, but we'll see. Anyway, and my number one worst Netflix film of the year is surprise, surprise, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. Holy cow. I'm actually a almost said Zac Efron, Zack Snyder fan. I'm a Zack Snyder fan big time. I'm not, Zack Snyder bro like most people claim to be, but I like Zack Snyder. But Rebel Moon became the first time I truly dislike a Zack Snyder project. I have a soft spot for his DC projects like Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Justice League. I didn't mind Sucker Punch, but holy cow, Rebel Moon was one of the worst piece of garbage I have ever seen. Why he didn't stick with Army of the Dead 2 is beyond me, because Army of the Dead sequel would have been much better. Uh, Scargiver just the dialogue in this was terrible. The acting was horrendous. Sophia Boutella, I do not think she's ready to lead a film yet. This really showed it, and yeah. By the way, second film that Anthony Hopkins is in, that's in my list, by the way. But it's a terrible one, and I hopefully we won't get another Rebel Moon anytime soon. But anyway, that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. 10, The Irish Wish. 9, The Merry Gentleman. 8, Mary. 7, Players. 6, Mother of the Bride. 5, Mea Culpa. 4, Trigger Warning. 3, Uglies. 2, Atlas. And number 1 is Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. Now, there's some other ones I probably could have added, like Unfrosted, which is actually more disappointing than worse, in my opinion. I could have also added the movie The Kitchen that came out early this year. Who remembers that? Code 8 Part 2 was terrible. There was also, I'm trying to remember what else. Oh, yeah, there was also that Woody Woodpecker one. I mean, hopefully Netflix has a better 2025, but we'll see. Anyway, let me let you guys. What do you think are some of the worst Netflix movies they put out this year? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notification. This is